Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club. This show is this one.
It's Super
Breakfast
Friends
Club. Oh. I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And, like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, we always wait till the end to do that. Nobody makes it that far.
Let's mix it up. Why don't you like and subscribe right now?
And then you can leave.
If you want to.
Your duty is done.
Duty.
You're a duty.
Let's play a theme song, shall we?
Welcome to Videoland.
Mega High! Wake up, Kid Icarus!
Welcome to Castlevania.
It's Congo-land!
Mother Brain will get you, little princess.
Princess, the palace is under siege!
Behold, the ultimate warp zone.
Kevin, I thought I told you to clean up your room. Whoa!
Captain N, the Game Master.
We're back.
We're back.
Captain and the Game Master.
Captainin.
Captainin.
The Game Master.
His name is actually Kevin.
Kevin Keane, I think.
Oh, I forgot he had a last name.
Yeah, I think this is the first episode where they say it, actually.
Wow.
So, we are watching the third episode, titled The Most Dangerous Game Master.
I get it. It's named after that thing. Captain and the Game Master.
Yeah. This episode was written by Jeffrey Scott, as were all of the Season 1 episodes. He's a good friend of ours who we've never met and who doesn't know who we are, because he also wrote every episode of the Pac-Man show.
The original Pac-Man show?
Oh, of course.
Okay. We have to clarify.
He also wrote the second Mega Man episode we looked at, the one with all those evil appliances coming to life. And
that was pretty good.
personally, I think of all of the Jeffrey Scott works we've seen so far, I think Captain N is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I think I'd have to agree.
I feel like he had more freedom with this show
Yeah.
than he did with the others.
Yeah.
And the like wide range of things that they're drawing from gives him a lot more to work with, I think.
Yeah, working within the Pac-Man universe, within that weird, boring world. Didn't really give him a lot.
No. This is a lot less fever dreamy than the Pac-Man show was.
Which is wild, because there's some crazy shit that goes on.
Yeah. So this aired September 23rd, 1989. And that's all I really have to say about it. So let's just start talking about what happens in the show.
Let's do it.
I felt like I was going insane because the first line we get is
Deep within the brain-shaped world of Metroid.
I loved it.
For anybody who knows anything about Metroid, this is just a nonsense phrase.
It's brain-shaped because Mother Brain created the world of Metroid.
But that's skipping over the larger absurdity, which is that Metroid is a jellyfish alien. Not a world.
Yeah. Castlevania's not a world either. It's just a castle.
Yeah, but it's at least a location.
Fair. Be like saying within the world of Gorilla.
Yeah, no, it's like saying within the tooth-shaped world of Dracula.
I want to go to the world of Dracula.
So we open with Dr. Wily here working on something for Mother Brain. It looks like a Frankenstein.
It looks like a Frankenstein, but specifically you can already see the Letterman jacket, so you know it's a Captain N.
Yes.
Despite the fact that we learn they don't know what they're building yet.
No, they don't seem to. This is a very, very lucky guess on Dr. Wily's part. Yeah. Even luckier than you might think. Right now, the head is covered. So we don't know exactly what's going on under there. So the depths of how lucky he was with this guess are pretty insane.
Well, as a fellow big brain nerd loser, Wily probably had a good guess as to what Kevin's greatest fear was. And since it was a 50-50 between women and a bully.
But it's not just a bully.
It's the bully.
It's a very specific bully. Anyway, yeah, this robot even has the NES controller belt on.
Mm-hmm. Which raised a lot of questions for me, because I was like, isn't that like the whole... I don't know.
Yes, it was like an ancient prophecy or whatever that he's the one person that can have it.
Like Kevin Keane is the teen that rolled onto the scene.
Yeah, we get a lot of those now that you mention it. The fact that they apparently were able to create another working power pad belt and Zapper gun raises a lot of questions.
I feel like that would eliminate most of their problems already.
Yeah.
In combating this guy.
Why didn't they just do that every episode?
I don't know.
Anyway, he says he still needs to program the robot's brain. I don't know about you. I had a hard time understanding exactly what Wily was saying here because the sound effects were so loud.
Yeah. I wasn't really... I was mostly distracted by the fact that the object they're using to record Kevin's wildest nightmares is just like a voice recorder from the 90s.
It's a talk boy, right?
It looks like a talk boy. I thought I was going crazy. I was like, is that?
But you know what's funny? This episode predates the invention of the talk boy by like 3 years.
Wow.
So they predicted, because the talk boy was invented specifically for Home Alone 2.
I didn't realize that.
Yes, it wasn't a real thing, but they needed it for the plot of Home Alone 2. The writer of Home Alone, I can't think what his name is now. John Hughes, that's it. He wanted Kevin to have something that was like state of the art and not available immediately to real kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was very important that Kevin be... Because, you know, Kevin's a little spoiled rich boy.
Right, his family's loaded.
Yeah. So he needed to have something that was ahead of its time. So they created something specifically for that. And then they made a brand deal with, I think, Tiger Electronics to actually produce these things.
Are you telling me that the Talk Boy is the legacy of this episode of Captain N?
Oh, maybe. But it's so funny that this device that Wily has created to record Kevin's... He says it will record Kevin's memories. Although later it seems to record people's fears rather than their memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has all the features of the Talk Boy. It looks different. It's orange, but...
Other than that...
Yeah, it sure looks like a Talk Boy.
I mean, I guess it does record memories.
I don't know. They kind of flip-flop between whether it records memories or fears. Because there's something very specific that's odd to have included if it's just recording memories. A couple things, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mother Brain pulls a cord to jingle a cowbell in King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard's bedroom.
Which is a closet with some hammocks.
Yeah. It's like a jail cell if the jail cell was less cozy.
Yeah.
So she threatens them a little bit. And then we go to the Palace of Power. Or that's what it says we're doing. But actually...
We're getting a little confused.
Actually, we go to Donkey Kong Jones and the Last Banana.
Which is clearly just a dumb Indiana Jones ripoff, but at the same time, I was like, I could see Donkey Kong doing this. I could see this in a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, and he gets chased by a giant rolling banana.
The whole time, I'm just thinking of Ralph Wiggum. Go banana!
Yeah, what really struck me during this whole sequence is how nice this show looks.
Yeah.
The animation is like genuinely really good throughout this episode.
Which is a far take from the last episode we watched, which had missing frames and stuff.
Well, missing backgrounds, I forgot about that. But also, like, this show was essentially part of the same production as the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Mario and Zelda show, the Mario show was Monday through Thursday, the Zelda show was Friday, and this was Saturday. And so they're all basically part of the same thing by the same company. So why does this show look so much nicer than the Mario Super Show did?
Well, it doesn't stay looking nice.
Well, no, it doesn't. But
I don't know, maybe they put all their eggs in this basket and then realized they were wrong.
Yeah, maybe they really thought this was going to be the one that carried it. But I think Mario was the only big success of the three of them. I think this one was like decently successful. Mm-hmm. I know the Zelda show flopped pretty hard.
Gee, I can't see that happening.
This was successful enough that Captain N continued as a comic in Nintendo Power for a long time. So, yeah, I really liked the animation in this episode. So we find out that Donkey Kong Jones is actually a movie that the heroes are watching, and they switch the channel to Wombat Man. This apparently Wombat Man. There's an episode all about Wombat Man at some point.
Why? He's not a video game.
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to do a Batman episode, but they couldn't get the rights.
Maybe. I do kind of love that they have their own weird little in-universe thing.
Yeah, it's interesting that apparently the video game world has its own culture and its own, like, TV.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong's a movie star.
That is kind of the part that blew my mind. Like, the first time we see Donkey Kong, he's just like a mindless idiot that they're running from. But now we find out he's a movie star?
Yeah, he's like wearing human clothes now. Because this is before the tie got added to Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
The tie didn't show up until, I think, Donkey Kong 94.
The tie is what lets us know that Donkey Kong is a sophisticated gentleman.
Yeah, it's what sets him apart from the apes.
He's still wearing less clothes than most of his relatives and friends.
That's true. Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, pretty much everybody on DK Island is more clothed than he is.
Diddy's got a shirt and a hat.
Yeah. If you count him as a real member of the Kongs, Bluster Kong wears less than DK does.
Bluster is not a Kong. Bluster isn't real.
I don't consider him real either, but you know, if you want to be generous.
I don't.
And then you've got the ones like Tiny who are just fully dressed.
Yeah.
So the TV breaks. I don't think we're given a reason why the TV broke.
I think it's implied that King Hippo and the Eggplant Wizard did something, because they immediately show up at the door dressed as repairmen.
Yes, immediately. So Simon Belmont, accurate Simon Belmont, he answers the door and lets in Eggplant Wizard and King Hippo disguised as TV repairmen. And he knows something's up, but he doesn't consciously know that.
Yeah, he thinks that they're just getting great service because the princess, I guess, got up to call the repairmen.
Yeah. Duke, the dog, he's sniffing something suspicious. He follows them inside the TV. This is how rich the princess is. Her television has a room inside of it.
You say that, but then in the next scene, they fall out of it, so it looks like it's just a screen that they're projecting something onto. This is just like an elaborate projector room.
Oh, you think it's just like, it's a projector room that's designed to look like a giant TV?
That's the only thing that makes any kind of sense. Is that the truth? Probably not.
I think she's just so rich and her TV is so big that you can just open a door and walk inside it. That's what I think.
I mean, in the 80s, TVs would be that big.
Yeah. So Eggplant Wizard has a remote that changes things?
It's unclear. But
Yeah, he points it at Duke, and first it changes the patterns on his fur, But then it starts turning him into whole different animals. And I like the fact that, like, Duke went back there. He discovered the deception. He knows that it's King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard. But after they turn him into a few animals, he's just like, this isn't my problem. I don't want to deal with this. He just leaves.
Right. Doesn't tell anybody else. He's just like, I learned some things I didn't need to know as a chicken.
I think the pig was the final straw. King Hippo uses the remote to turn Eggplant Wizard into a sexy lady for a moment.
Hi, handsome. Yeah, I'll have to remember that, Chettle.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. But the weirdest part is the remote never comes up again.
Oh, I was going to say the weirdest part was how into it Eggplant Wizard got at being a sexy lady.
That's true.
He's posing, and when he unsexifies him, he's still in that pose.
Like, this really, I thought that this was going to be a bigger part of the episode. Yeah. But then it's just gone. They don't use it again after this. It was really here for no reason.
It was really here to just waste a few minutes of our time, because then he pulls out a different device.
Yes, then he pulls out the device we saw earlier, which is the recording, this is where they explicitly call it a device to record Kevin's fears.
Yeah.
Rather than his memories, which is what they said earlier. The whole time they're inside the TV, there's just random Mario sound effects playing.
Yeah, like...
But no reason.
Now, give me that gizmo, will you?
It's kind of part of the soundtrack, but, like, not in a coherent way.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, though.
No, it was just strange.
It's a little strange, but, like, I kind of liked it. I was like, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's video games.
I do wish they used any sounds from any other game.
True. They're working with a whole universe here.
And it's all, I feel like every video game sound effect in this episode was from Mario. I didn't consciously notice any others. It might just be because I'm more familiar with the Mario ones. But
yeah.
So Lana shows up. She comes back from calling the repair crew, and Simon is like, "Oh, they're already here working on it." But she says they're not coming until tomorrow. And then the TV becomes all hypnosis-y.
And Simon gets his brain probed.
And we see Simon having a vision of being bitten by Dracula. And this is where I'm like, is it a memory or is it just a fear? Has he been bitten by Dracula?
I think at this point it's just a fear, and he's afraid of Dracula.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too, because then it hits Duke, and we see Duke being chased by a huge army of cats. I'm like, I don't think that's a thing that really happened in his life, probably. I don't know.
No, because he was a real-life dog outside of this, and you don't often encounter armies of cats in the wild.
Well, I don't know where they live. Maybe it's California.
Well known for its army of cats. Its roaming
Disneyland
band of
is.
cats. That's true. I forgot about that.
They adjust the thing some more, and they finally hit Kevin. And we see him getting lifted up
by a shrouded bully.
Yeah, a bigger jock. Because Kevin's a jock too, but this is a bigger jock.
Yeah. I don't know, like, this episode really drove home that he's just like a video game playing nerd. And yeah, he has a Letterman jacket, but I'm like, is that just it's just a Nintendo jacket. He's Captain N.
Well, I don't know, because the bully has the exact same jacket.
He does. I don't know. There's a lot of mixed messages in this.
What I really honed in on here was that when Kevin is imagining / remembering / being shown this, what he says is that he feels funny.
No!
I feel funny.
Mm-hmm.
So is this him remembering his sexual awakening?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Maybe that's why he tries so hard to get with Lana. He's compensating.
I don't think
because
that's
he's only
it.
a teenager. He's not, and it's the 80s, so he can't be as open about it. You know, we weren't there yet.
It's kind of heavily implied that it's a repressed memory, or like since he's come to Videoland, he's kind of forgotten the outside world because at first he doesn't even remember who it is.
No, which I thought was weird. Like it's not. Presumably, it hasn't been that long. How long has it been? Is time passing in the real world while he's in here?
I don't know. There's no sense of time in Videoland.
Because he chose to stay here rather than go back home. Like, it's not implied that he's trapped here. He just didn't want to do his chores because he heard his mom calling him and he was like, I'll stay here.
I'll get sucked into the TV for a while, I guess.
What's she going to do? Well, I've been hacked. It's not my fault.
I'm in the digital world, Mom. What are you going to do?
Well, this is where King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard trip and fall out of the TV screen. In the show.
Not in real life.
Don't worry. Yeah, if you want to watch this episode, don't worry. They won't actually trip and fall out of your TV screen.
Unless...
That's just what happened in the show.
Unless you weren't worried at all and you're actually upset that they're not going to trip and fall out of your TV screen.
Yeah. Eggplant Wizard has returned to normal. He is no longer a sexy lady.
They might not be able to turn you into a sexy lady. Unclear how the remote works, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, sorry about that. But, you know, Eggplant Wizard tosses a mushroom that turns into a helicopter.
As one does.
As is his wont.
As is the want of all mushroom kind, to turn into helicopters.
And they hop in the mushroom helicopter and escape. And that's kind of the end of that for now.
Yeah. Kevin's just still reeling because he got his brain probed.
Yeah, so he doesn't remember who the person in his vision was. So I was trying to... Because he doesn't have amnesia. The person in the vision was clearly a high school student, and he is still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know, maybe it is kind of a Hook situation, where, like, the longer you stay in Videoland, the more you forget.
That's kind of what I thought, yeah.
I wonder if that's ever touched on more, or if that's not even a thing.
It's only a plot point for this one episode.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not entirely sure why it needs to be one. Like, why does the identity of the Frankenstein have to be a secret?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They could have easily just had him be, like, embarrassed that he's afraid of a bully, so he just doesn't tell them.
Yeah.
What he saw. Might have been better, even. Anyway, everybody's laughing maniacally. So... I actually really liked this.
It was a decent part.
As he's activating his robot, Dr. Wily starts laughing maniacally, and Eggplant Wizard and King Hippo join in. And then Mother Brain is just, like, watching them all with quiet concern. And it's not an accident either. This isn't just, like, she's animated badly. They deliberately chose... Because it keeps cutting to her and shows her, like, looking at different ones of them, just being like, what is happening?
It's played for laughs, and she donks King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard for carrying on too long.
Yeah, I liked it. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
She's the only sane one there.
Which is wild.
The robot sits up. It's the bully from the memory. Dr. Wily had an extremely lucky guess at capturing his exact face. Because I want to stress, like, they didn't see the memory and then build the robot. The robot was built.
Yeah. I mean, unless they just had the body, which was identical, and waited to craft the head.
I don't know. I feel like they showed clearly that he had literally just got the recording.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what happened. Anyway, now it's morning at the Palace of Power, and Mother Brain interrupts breakfast. And, like, what is going on?
I am not sure.
Like, aren't they in, like, a war? Aren't the heroes supposed to be, like, actively saving the world from Mother Brain? Isn't Lana's father on the run? Like the mom from Sonic Underground, and they're supposed to be looking for him.
I mean, I guess they just have to wait for Mother Brain's schemes at this point, and she hasn't unleashed it yet.
So far, the heroes just seem to be living like Beverly Hills teens.
watching Donkey Kong and eating cereal.
Yeah, we're halfway through this episode, and so far we've seen them watch TV and eat cereal. Like, I don't know.
They're living that Saturday morning dream.
So Mother Brain introduces her new game master, and at this point he's just kind of shown in shadow.
All of his features are clearly identifiable, but like shadowy.
Well, you think about watching it on a CRT screen. They wouldn't have been so visible.
That is how we got Green Mega Man.
Yeah. It made me think of Dark Link. And that would have been way cooler than what we actually got.
Yeah.
If the robot was just Kevin, but
that's
shadowy.
what I thought it was going to be at first. When I saw he had the same Letterman and everything, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
evil robot Kevin!"
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Shadow Kevin, Kevin's Shadow the Hedgehog.
He's even got the gun.
That's true. Kevin gets a phone call from Mike Vincent, who he recognizes from school now.
Now that he sees his face outside of his nightmares, he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Yeah. Mike says that he got stuck in Videoland in Castlevania and that he needs help. And Kevin agrees to go help him. And Lana's like, "Oh, we'll go and help your friend." And Kevin's like, "That guy's not my friend."
He's my bully.
But they go to save him anyway. Mike Vincent, by the way, played by Michael Donovan, who also voices the Eggplant Wizard.
Good.
They get to Castlevania, and I'm assuming that you were also struck by how bright and colorful it was.
Yes and no. Because I think I've told you before, early Castlevania was pretty dark and stuff, but after Circle of the Moon came out for the Game Boy Advance, there were a lot of complaints that the game was too dark. So then Harmony of Dissonance came out, and it was a Technicolor nightmare.
But it's just like, it's daytime. It looks like it's daytime. It's maybe a little bit misty, a little bit overcast, but...
The thing about Castlevania that I was taken aback by was as they enter the bowels of Castlevania and Mike Vincent shows up to confront them, he summons monsters, and Dracula's just like any old henchman monster. Like, he's the lord of this castle!
Yeah, this is the part where we start seeing some Castlevania stuff. Like, as soon as they get there, Simon is like, "Yeah, this is where I come from. I know my way around here," and immediately opens the wrong door to Skeletown. But when Mike Vincent shows up, there's Castlevania music playing, which is nice.
Yeah.
What's wrong? Is it my hair? Is there something in my nose?
Mike, you okay?
And yeah, he is backed by a cast of Castlevania enemies. So this is my favorite thing about Captain N, where I have to like figure out who they're all supposed to be.
Right.
And some of them, these ones are pretty easy.
Yeah.
We've got Mummy Man, we've got Frankenstein, or as later games call him, the Creature, which is more accurate to the book.
Yes.
We've got Wolfman, and we got Dracula himself.
We got the most bored-looking Dracula I've ever seen in my life.
I really loved his design, but it doesn't scream Castlevania Dracula to me.
You mean his bright yellow suit doesn't scream
Yes.
Castlevania?
Yeah, but it was such a good character design, though. I really like the Mummy Man's design as well.
He's so dumb.
He's like a potato in bandages.
Yeah, he doesn't look like an actual mummy. It just looks like a potato man got wrapped up.
Who doesn't want to wrap up a potato man?
Put him in the microwave.
So all of these enemies here, when I was like trying to figure out why they might have chosen these ones, I noticed that they are all bosses from the first Castlevania except Wolfman. Wolfman was a planned enemy for the first game, but then got scrapped and then appeared as a stage enemy in Castlevania 2. I think they should have put the Grim Reaper there instead of Wolfman, because then that just would have been the last 4 bosses of the first game standing there with him.
Yeah. But maybe that's a little bit too ominous to have death itself face up against Kevin and friends.
Maybe. Also, apparently this show never refers to Dracula as Dracula. They always just call him the Count. Yeah, right. I don't know why. All of the wikis and stuff that I looked at said that it was because of Universal Studios owning the rights to the name
That's what
Dracula.
I would guess, yeah.
It's not that.
It's not?
No, it can't be that. The rights to the name Dracula became public domain in the 60s.
Huh.
So it can't be that. So I don't know exactly why, but apparently they never call him Dracula. They always just call him the Count.
Maybe there's a bigger Dracula.
Maybe.
Maybe it's like Dracula's true form, where he's that hideous bat.
Basically, like, all of the characters here take a member of the Captain N crew to fight. And appropriately, Simon's the one who fights Dracula. I think maybe that's the reason Dracula's here. Because, you know, this is Simon's world. It makes sense for him to fight the big bad here.
It does. And, like, I agree with that. Had they not shown us at the beginning of the episode that he's terrified of Dracula.
But then here, he's like, it's like NBD.
Right! Like, he knows exactly how to defeat him. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we get here, he doesn't... I was expecting a little bit of
cowardice, because he's been a coward in every episode that we've seen him in.
This is the one time we've seen him be competent, and I did like that, because he is in his home world.
I liked it, but they've sent us mixed messages this entire episode.
They have. Yeah, the fact that we showed him cowering in front of Dracula earlier, and now he's not bothered. He's not even shaken slightly by Dracula in this scene.
Hold it! I want a snapshot of this for my album. Whoa, whoa! Got it! And I got you, too!
If they had showed us Simon cowering to, like, an army of every other monster, that would make sense.
Yeah. This made me realize that what I really want for Simon here, because Simon has only ever been a useless idiot in this show.
Yeah.
What I really wanted for Simon here was for him to be an extremely competent and proficient adventurer, but only when he's in the world of Castlevania.
Yeah. And it makes sense.
Yeah. When he's here, he's an amazing hero, and like all the people of Castlevania love him. But the second he steps foot outside of Castlevania, he's a bumbling idiot. That would have been really funny.
Yeah, like how you can be really good at one game and then you pick up another and you don't even know how to jump.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Mega Man fighting the creature. It just kind of puts a statue on him.
He throws a gargoyle at him.
Is this the first thing Mega Man has done in this show?
Throw a gargoyle?
Yeah. I don't remember him really doing anything else in any of the other episodes.
So which robot master do you have to defeat to get that power?
Michelangelo Man.
Michael Mangelo?
That's better. There we go. Wolfman is menacing Lana. Kid Icarus shoots him with an arrow and makes it his birthday.
He just is suddenly covered in party decorations.
Yeah, and he's holding balloons. I think this is the first time Kid Icarus has done anything as well. So this is the first time we've actually seen what his arrows do, because it didn't occur to me that it would be this.
No, not at all. It's like, is he gonna make Wolfman fall in love?
Yeah. But the balloons lift Wolfman into the sky, despite the fact that they're inside a corridor.
Right. They're in a closed corridor and the ceiling is not that high.
Yeah, but he just lifts up off screen and we're not supposed to think about it anymore.
The same way we're not supposed to think about the creature just throwing aside the statue.
Yeah. So Duke is fighting the Mummy Man. He just kind of pulls the bandages off and Mummy Man just vanishes.
Yeah, there was no Mummy Man.
Yeah, and that's it. That was a quick fight, quick, uneventful fight. I don't even know what Kevin was doing that whole time, now that I think about it.
Just standing there glaring at Mike Vincent.
Yeah, so they all advance on Mike, and Kevin like shoots him. He shoots his gun to stop him from going for it. It was pretty cool, but didn't expect it.
Yeah, but then he just pauses them because he has the super belt.
Yeah, and this is the thing where I'm like, why don't they just keep making these belts if they can just do that?
Right. If they can bend time and space, they can win this war.
All you ever have to do is pause the heroes and you've won. Because that's what happens here.
Yep.
He pauses the heroes and then they just tie them all up.
Yeah, and carry them back to Mother Brain's banquet hall.
Yeah, where they're all tied up at a dinner table. So Mother Brain explains that Mike Vincent is her robot duplicate. And Mike challenges Kevin to a contest to determine who the real game master is. And this is, look, I love here that Mother Brain says exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Keen. Just you and me through the worlds of Castlevania. Winner is the real game master. Loser gets lost.
No! I've already won! You don't need to prove anything!
Like, this whole episode is foiled because Mike Vincent thinks he's so good at video games.
Yeah, he insists on having a contest. And now we get a little Castlevania montage. I think it's probably fairly clear, if you know, that this show...
That there was supposed to be a licensed song here?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess?
So when it started up, it sounded like a discount Beat It.
Yeah, no, that's just... Yeah, we actually talked about that in a previous episode, because every time that the licensed song is supposed to play in these versions that we have, they just play this discount Beat It.
You're on, dude.
But that's not what the song was.
Was it Thriller?
Yeah, it was Thriller.
Yes!
I was going to say, although it is related, and yeah, what played here originally was Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I rubbed two brain cells together. I was like, monsters? It was probably Thriller.
It was Thriller, yeah. Yeah, but this is another point where, this is why I like these licensed song montages, because this is another excuse for them to throw in some random enemies and for me to try and figure out what the hell they were trying to portray with this.
Right. I could not make sense of the crumb-looking ghost.
Yeah, in the swamp.
Is it supposed to just be a ghost?
I did a deep dive. I looked at all the sprites from the first two games. And I think that it is probably supposed to be a Castlevania 2 Mudman.
Okay.
It sure looks like a random ghost from the Ghostbusters animated series.
Yeah, because it has like an ethereal animation where it pops out of the swamp as a vapor.
Yeah. Hang on, let me find you the Mudman sprite that I looked at that convinced, because at first I thought maybe it was there's like a swamp monster that pops up and it just has like one big eyeball and it's made of slime, and I was like, maybe it's supposed to be there. But then I did a little more digging just in case, and I found this sprite. And
oh, I see
if you picture, yeah. So I've sent Mel the sprite of the Mudman from Castlevania 2. Picture this. We know that they drew these character designs from looking at the actual game on a CRT screen that was probably showing the wrong colors because Mega Man is green. But imagine this like blurry on a CRT. I can kind of see that the hands could be interpreted as holding eyeballs there.
Yeah, instead of shading or highlights, it could be eyeballs.
Yeah, so that's my guess. My guess is that this is what they were trying to portray.
Yeah, I'll allow
Castlevania
it.
2 Mudman. So yeah, Kevin fights that. Meanwhile, Mike fights a Wolfman, and he actually gets a heart out of it.
He did get a heart.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work the way the hearts like to flutter to the ground, but you know what? I appreciated the effort.
Yeah, they tried at least.
They tried.
Was always so confused by hearts in Castlevania, because I see a heart and I think health.
Right, it's not health. It's your mana, essentially.
Yeah, it's like ammo.
It's
ammo for your knives.
Yeah, it's your axe juice. Your holy water juice.
Yeah, It took me ages to learn that. Every time I tried to play Castlevania, I'm like, oh, good, I need health. But no, you go on to punch some chicken out of a wall if you want health.
Video games.
And meanwhile, Kevin is now fighting a merman.
Yes, I did guess that one.
Didn't look a whole lot like a merman, but it was behaving like one.
Yeah, it spit the fireball.
Yeah, it was very simplified from what they actually look like in the Castlevania series. But yeah, it's fine. It worked for me.
Yeah.
And then Mike enters the castle and encounters a knight, which is much, much, much bigger than they are in the games.
They did tend to be pretty large, but not this large.
Yeah, they're still like large humans, right?
Yeah.
In the games. Not giants.
Yeah.
But Mike uses his pad to jump over it, and then Kevin shows up and kind of does the same thing, but with extra steps.
Right. Does the same, but different. Just like, I think it was supposed to show, he's the more proficient because he used it to jump up the spears as they were being thrown into the wall.
Oh, yeah?
And he goes to a secret area of the level, which is a thing in Castlevania.
Oh, does he? Okay, I didn't pick up on that.
So, like, Mike jumps over the knight and runs down the corridor behind him, but Kevin ends up on, like, a secret upper level.
Oh, okay. Neat. I didn't notice that. That's cool. I do like how you can tell that they actually played the games for this. You can, and then they, like, worked their experiences of the game into usually only into this montage part, but but at least into it somewhat.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part, where Kevin reaches a coffin and then Dracula just shows up and shoves him out of a window.
But notice that Kevin got there before Mike because he took the shortcut.
Yeah, that's true. But then Mike shows up, shoots Dracula. Dracula falls into the coffin. You know, sorry, Dracula, you really got shafted in multiple ways in this episode.
Right.
There is more Dracula later. He gets to be a bit more of a villain and have a speaking role.
And a son.
And a son. I know you're excited to get to the Alucard episode.
I'm so excited.
So Kevin's dangling from the window that Dracula defenestrated him.
Unceremoniously pushed him out of.
Yeah. It made me laugh so much. It was just so sudden. It's like, yes, I'm the ultimate evil in this castle.
Yeah, right. The Lord of Darkness graces you with his presence. Now go.
As Mike is threatening to let Kevin fall, is playing the underground music from Mario 2 for some reason.
In Castlevania world.
Yeah, it would have been nice. I mean, like, they definitely had the rights to some Castlevania music because they played it earlier.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, Kevin reminds Mike and tells us for the first time that they were friends when they were younger. Apparently really good friends.
Right.
They cross-dressed together.
They had outdoor tent times together.
Yeah. Like, that's not something you do with just a random kid from school.
Right.
There's more to this that we aren't shown.
That's why I got so confused, because it's like, clearly Mike is a bully because he's become a big, muscle-bound jock. And Kevin just kind of has the Letterman, probably for nerd reasons, probably for academic reasons. And they went in branching paths in life, so now he gets bullied by his former friend.
It would have been nice to see more of that, because this just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike returns to Mother Brain's dinner party and reveals that he and Kevin are BFFs now forever. And Dr. Wily activates Mother Brain's tank mode.
I loved it. It was so stupid.
It was pretty good.
She spins around for a while and comes back with tanks.
And as she starts wantonly firing bullets in Kevin's direction, Mike pushes Kevin out the way to safety. And Kevin uses the table that she was not on to catapult her and all of her friends who weren't on the table out of Castlevania.
Out of Castlevania's skylight, which is just kind of open for some reason.
I love that he refers to it as a warp, and then he just catapults her out a window.
They use that term really loosely in this show.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna shoot her, because we've seen before that when he shoots her, she just gets teleported back to Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
But no, just more defenestration.
That is the theme of this episode.
Yeah.
Then we have a touching scene of Mike Vincent dying.
Touching is a strong word for what this is. He uses his final words to remind us that this isn't a sad moment because he's just a robot copy of the real Mike Vincent back home.
The real Mike Vincent who hasn't had this revelation and still hates Kevin.
I know, that's what... Well, no, not even that, but like, they take this to mean that the real Mike Vincent is a good guy really after all deep down.
Yeah.
But I just kept thinking like, this isn't an android copy of the real Mike Vincent. This is an android copy of Kevin's memories of the real Mike Vincent.
Yeah, good point.
This doesn't mean that Mike Vincent is a good guy deep down. It means that Kevin thinks he is.
It means that Kevin has conflicting feelings because he's seen a softer side of him.
Yeah. But Kevin takes this to mean, the real Mike Vincent's actually good.
He's gonna get his head thrown into a toilet when he gets back to the real world.
Yeah, he is gonna get back and be like, oh, Mike, he's just gonna be treating him like a buddy again because he doesn't understand that this wasn't him.
Remember when we fought Dracula together?
Remember when you rescued me from the bullets of the giant brain in a jar and then I threw it out of a window? Good times. Don't put me in my locker again. Anyway, the robot fades away and the episode ends.
It was a little unceremonious.
It was extremely unceremonious. How did you feel about this one?
It was alright. I didn't hate it.
It was fine. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
I would have preferred it if the robot hadn't died.
Yeah.
I would have preferred it if this robot became a recurring anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like a proto-man.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I also would have preferred it, like I said earlier, I would have preferred it if the robot had actually been like a shadow copy of Kevin himself.
Yeah.
That would have been way cooler.
But then they couldn't have that touching moment where we learned the robot was a good guy all along.
Yeah, we could. It just would have been different. It would have been like a...
It would have to take place later in the season.
It would have been like they copied Kevin too well, and his goodness came through in the robot doppelganger, and then he could have come back like in other episodes. He could have just been Kevin, but with sunglasses on
and green.
No, not even that. Just Kevin with sunglasses on. That would have been so 90s.
I know.
But this was the 80s.
ahead of its time.
Anyway, that's what I want. When they do the inevitable reboot of Captain N, we need a second Captain N. We need Shadow Captain N. Oh, what would his name be?
Captain S for Shadow.
I was thinking, since this guy's name was Mike, they should have been calling him Captain M.
That's what I thought that they were gonna do.
But I guess Kevin isn't named for his name. It's because it's Nintendo, so.
Still. I put about as much thought into this Android ending as the writers did, which is to say none at all. But I do like your take on it.
Me too. That's why it's mine.
Stupid.
Is there a legacy? I'm going to look up whether Mike Vincent ever appeared again. Mike Vincent worked as a radio and newspaper journalist for more than 20 years in Brisbane, Sydney,
So he's doing
Canberra,
okay.
Hobart, and Perth, but mostly in his hometown of Adelaide. This might be a different Mike Vincent.
No.
Android Mike Vincent. That's got to be the one.
I remember that character from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Android 17, Android 18, and Android Mike Vincent. Yeah, it looks like he never appeared again. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It would have been. They could have explored that more in the comics if they thought of it. I think we're done.
Yeah, we beat Castlevania.
I can't wait to come back to this show again and spend more time trying to figure out what sprites they were trying to represent.
That is my favorite part of this show.
It is the best. We haven't had one better than the first episodes.
Meatball Ape!
Well, Meatball Ape too, but Wacky Kraid really sticks out in my head too.
I always forget about Kraid.
At least I'm pretty sure it was Kraid. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for sitting down on our couch and watching our TV with us.
That'll be $5. Head to patreon.com/SuperBreakfastFriendsClub, where we will receive that $5.
Are you trying to extort the audience?
I'm trying something. I'm trying something different.
Extortion?
It's not extortion if they don't do it. I got no leverage here.
It's true. The leverage is that we'll continue to make episodes regardless of what you do.
The leverage is that if you don't join our Patreon, we won't thank you for joining our Patreon.
Like our best friend Jamie Core.
Like Jamie Core, our Patreon Club VIP, the only one. Thanks, Jamie.
The very importantest person. What about the coffee?
Yeah, there's a coffee too. You could go to there, if and you so choose. I set up a feed on Blue Sky. If you go to Skull Pirate Mike, which is me on Blue Sky, and look at my feeds, there's a feed for this show now.
Wow, you've said the word feed many times.
So anytime I tweet. You can't tweet anymore, it's not real. Anytime I Blue Sky an update about the show, it'll be in that feed. I mean, I guess I post about them on X, but who sees those? No one's on X anymore.
Just the bots.
Yeah. I saw an infographic about how much the audience on X has decreased. Like, falling so fast, and Elon's just adding more and more bots to make it look like there's still people using it. It's wild.
The dead internet theory is true?
Yeah.
And it's
sure,
powered exclusively by Elon Musk?
At least it's true on X. No, I don't use X anymore. I stopped using it like a couple weeks ago, and I'm so much happier.
Yeah, you should have stopped years ago.
Blue Sky is so pleasant. Everyone on Blue Sky is so nice. And there's no discourse, because there's no algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not constantly pushing anger in your face the way X does.
Right.
Ah, so nice. They're not paying me, but they should.
Do they even do sponsorships?
Hey, Blue Sky, do you do sponsorships? Asking for a friend.
It's me, I'm the friend.
Bye.
Dumb.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
I'm telling everyone you're dumb. I'm putting this at the end of the episode.
Are you gonna cut out all the times I said that you were dumb? Are you gonna silence me?
No, of course not. I would never.
Okay, Elon Musk.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them that. That's my secret.
You're just another sock puppet.
I'm Grok.